What do you think the list is of teams that are willing to cash everything in to pay that price? I would say.
But if you're Vancouver, see, Horvat's.
I would say wait, let's just finish this exercise. Colorado is one. Would you say the Oilers are one?
No.
Okay.
They got us. They got 3 guys in the top 10 in scoring. They got to spend money.
No, I'm not saying for Horvat. I'm saying teams that are really willing to put everything out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, for the right defenseman, I think. But again, you can't, like, the defensemen that are available, Frank, I don't think are game changer guys that you want to grossly overpay for. That's the concern.
I would agree. So let's finish the exercise. I would say the Leafs are probably one. I don't see them withholding anything to get what they need.
You and I will disagree. I think Carolina's got him. I think they need an impact offensive player. So,
okay.
And they've got so much depth. They can move guys.
Okay. So you're going to include Carolina in the mix. We know Tampa would, but I just don't think they have the assets. They don't have the picks. Their first round pick is until 2025. They don't have any prospects. They just re-signed Nick Perbix today, who's been a bit of a revelation as a 6th round pick from 2017. Maybe the Rangers. Do you think the Rangers are willing to do it?
Well, now the Rangers, Frank, it becomes interesting. Would they give up Lafreniere? Maybe don't have to give up a lot of assets, but you give up a former number 1 overall pick. How does that change the equation?
Does he really get you excited? Let's put yourself in the Canucks' shoes. Mm-hmm. Does he really get you excited?
You know what? I would take Lafreniere over a first round 2023. If I'm Vancouver, that's a great example, Frank, because Vancouver, to me, they're not that bad. They've got Quinn Hughes. They've got Pedersen.
Oh, here we go again. You love Frank, Vancouver?
No, I don't love them, but they're not Anaheim. They're not Arizona, right? Like, they've got some good pieces. So for them to go scorched earth, like, it just doesn't make sense. I don't see how they do it. They got too many quality NHL players that are going to perform. Thatcher Demko's, out now, but when Thatcher Demko's healthy, people would say, hey, that's a pretty good goaltender. Right. So they got some pieces. They've got some albatross contracts for sure. I agree, but they're not bad enough. If I was them and I could get Lafreniere to look and say, hey, we'll take Lafreniere over trading Bo Horvat for a first round pick, that's really not going to help us for 4 years. Right. I think I would be more interested in that if I was Vancouver.
I'm not convinced that New York needs a center, but I'm just saying it. I was just trying to isolate which teams are willing to go all in this year. Boston is probably one. We know Pittsburgh would, they'd like to do a lot, but they have 0 cap space.
You know who has the most cap space amongst the competitive teams, which is shocking because they have so much dead cap space, is the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, they keep accruing.
Right? So I wonder, like, does Bill Guerin is not afraid. He has inherited Jim Rutherford's ability to just not give 2 you-know-whats, and he'll make a deal if you don't expect it. So I wouldn't sleep on the Minnesota Wild as an acquisition team.
I would agree. I don't know that they're going all in to do it. Like, I think they really need their first round pick.
Oh yeah. But you can make good trades at the deadline that really help your team without going, like, all in, right? Like, look what now Colorado.
That isn't what the exercise is.
Oh, well, all in though is like, so you're saying give up a first round pick.
Which team? It's not just first rounders. Like, which teams are saying, I don't care what we have to give up. We're doing whatever we need to do at this deadline.
No, well, I think that's a short list.
That's what I'm saying. It's a short. Would you include Vegas?
God, well, anybody can be creative, but yeah, they might. I wouldn't rule it out. But I wonder if maybe because they've always done it, Frank. So I guess it would be foolish just all of a sudden say they're not going to be that aggressive. They've always been aggressive. That's been their MO from day one of coming in as an organization.